So if you are opening up something brand new, you're going to go to New Tab right here. Here's how we're opening up Google SketchUp. We're going to go to New Tab. We're going to go to this. Then you're going to scroll down, and you should see the app in this. If you don't see it in this, you need to download it. There's a link. There'll be another link on here to show you where to download that. But once you click on SketchUp, it'll bring up all the projects that you've created. Once this opens up, bring up all the projects that you create. For us, we're going to do create new. Once it opens, you guys are going to do create new, and you'll do feet and inches. But I've already created one for this class, so I'm going to just click on that one, but you want to select the template feet and inches. And so I'm going to come into this one. I re-changed the title, so it says 12-inch ruler, Mr. Keenan, and then CAD, so it's your section. Hopefully everybody will be able to see that. Again, if you are not able to follow along with what I'm about to show you, that is completely okay. Because I'm going to be posting this exact video. I'm going to start it from right about here. I'll start it from where I came into Google SketchUp, or where I showed you guys how to get SketchUp. And so this video will be separated from the entire recording I've been doing so far. And I want to show you guys how to create the ruler. Okay? So this right here is a 12-inch ruler that we have. And if I make it so it goes like this, that little channel that's there, we're going to create that little channel that goes right down the middle also. Okay. Don't be alarmed if you can't keep up. I'm just going to go ahead and start creating it. Before we do so, if you could get a pen and paper handy. If you have time, grab a pen and paper. Again, mute your videos right now. I'm glad I can see your faces, Ava, and I believe that's Savannah. Mute your videos so we're not taking up bandwidth on other people's. Can you guys see me in a little window? Can you see me in this little window right here? Can you guys see that? Okay. Good deal. So, in that little window, try to watch what I'm going to do. We're going to make a big square like this. This is something, a little bit of a review from last year. Okay? Whoops. And there's an intro video on how to draw a ruler, how to draw a 1-inch segment. There's a little intro video that we had. When we cut up a pizza, we're going to cut it right down the middle. This is going to represent a 1-inch segment. If we put a 5 over here and a 6 over here, we know that this is the space in between 5 and 6 inches. Okay? Just like cutting up a pizza, when we're drawing on a ruler, we're going to cut it right in half, the same way you cut your pizza in half. The second step for cutting a pizza, most people will go from side to side and cut this half in half and cut this half in half. Do the same thing this way. Cut these halves into quarters. Then you will cut these quarters into eighths, which is what we'll do right here, like this. Then if you really wanted to, if you had a lot of people at your party, you might cut it into 16ths. And all you're doing is slicing each one in half. We are going to use Google SketchUp to do this concept 12 times, because we are going to be creating a 12-inch ruler that will end up looking just like this. Okay. You will be expected to label one of the inch segments. You'll be expected to label just one of them down to a 16th of an inch. I'm going to show you just how fast you can do it when you are working on it. First thing I did is I just used my cursor. I highlighted where that person was, turned blue, and I hit delete, and I got rid of them because I don't need them here in the way. I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and right now I'm using a mouse. You guys can do similar things with the mouse pad. I'm going to click pan. We're going to slide this over, grab the hand, slide it over just like that. We're going to start with rectangle. Okay. Remember, we're going to click once, and then we're going to move our mouse. The same thing in the mouse pad. You'd click once, and then you'd scroll your finger across to start out our rectangle. Okay. Now, this 12-inch ruler is going to be 12 feet long. If you're having a hard time with the apostrophe like we did before, you can just do 144, which is 12 feet. That's in inches, comma space 12. What we just did is we created a ruler that's 12 feet long and 12 inches tall. If I zoom in like this and kind of move it around, we have it's 1 foot across and 12 feet long. If you guys have questions on what I just did, I'm not going to open it up right now. I want to kind of just go right straight through this. We want to make this the same thickness as it is on this ruler, and it's 1/8 of 12 inches. So we're just going to go 1.5. If you did 1.5 8 times, you'd have 12 inches. That's 1/8 of that. So that means we have our thickness. If we zoomed in, so let me repeat these dimensions again. 12 inches long, or excuse me, 12 feet long, 144 inches long, 12 feet by 12 inches tall, and 1.5 inches thick. What we're going to do next is I'm going to grab the pencil here. I'm going to find the midpoint. This blue dot that pops up, you'll be using this a lot today. So this blue dot right here. We're going to zoom in, and to start out, I'm just going to click once, and then draw a line all the way to the bottom of that to get a straight line that's going to be splitting the dead center from edge to edge on our ruler. That's going to help us locate that little channel that is right in the middle right here. Okay. So from there, we're going to find the midpoint of that, which is 0.75. We're going to move. You see how there's a red or green line that comes up? We're underneath where it says on face. It means that we're on the green plane. We want that to be green. We're going to type in 0.75. Whoops, back. 0.75. Enter. Okay. And then from there, we're going to go up to the top just like that. Select that edge, hit escape. We're going to come back to here, come out 0.75 again. More than likely, once you start doing that 0.75, it will snap in at 3/4 of an inch, which is 0.75. Now I have a spot for this blue to take that channel. In order to get rid of these lines, I have to click on the cursor, the arrow. I'm going to zoom in, and I want to select the middle arrow going up and down, that one right there. And I'm going to delete that one. And I'm also going to be deleting this one right here. So we just have this little trough going right down the middle. And to make that groove really simple, you just choose push pull, select on this, and move it down. If I zoomed out a little bit and just moved it to the edge like this, where it says endpoint, if you click on that, it will completely delete it so that your channel is set and your 12-inch ruler should look very proportional to what I have in my hand right here, just like this. Okay, it should look very proportional, very similar. But right now, this is 12 inches. Every inch, this is 12 feet. If this is 12 feet, that means every inch is going to be 12 inches long. I'll divide this up. Start out dividing this up. We're going to go like this. Come out, find our midpoint right there. We're only drawing on the surface, the top surface here. I'm going to go just to this, the face right here, just like that. If this is 12 inches long or 12 feet long, this should be how much? Somebody can shout it out, or somebody can type it in the chat window that I don't have up right now. Let me move this out of the way. So if this is 12 inches and this is the midpoint from this end to this end, it means that this should be at 6 inches. There's a little labeling tool right here that we can select. It's by the tape measure. So you click on the tape measure, then you go to where it says text, and I can click on that point and move it up like this. And even though it already has dimensions in there, I can take and delete those dimensions and just type in 6 for 6 inches. And then I'm going to click off. Then I'm going to go back to the pencil again and find the midpoint between here to 0, which is right here. I'm going to come down to this. And half of 6 should be 3. So we're going to delete this, and we're going to type in 3, enter. Click off. Oops, Control Z. I don't like the way that looked. Control Z goes backwards. I just did Control Z twice. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to move it up. I'm going to change this to 3, enter, just like that. So now I have 6, 3. We can do this one more time, split between 6 and 12. Halfway between 6 and 12 should be 9. Just like that. I'm going to go to my label, click here. We're going to change this to 9, enter. Okay. Now, if I were to divide this in half again and find the midpoint, it would not be proportional to where we want it to be. We're going to do just the inches first. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to start on using the pencil. We'll find the midpoint along this edge and this edge. We're going to go move it to the right and have our, when that red line is up, we can type in 12, hit enter. What we just did is we created every 12 inches is going to represent, every 12 inches on this ruler will represent 1 inch on our ruler. And so the reason we're doing that is so that it's blew up really big so we can see it as we draw it. It's just the way we're doing it. And if we did this correctly, from here, 12 inches should end right at 3. And it does. I'm going to hit Control Z because I don't want that one. Maybe at the midpoint of this one, I'm going to move over 12 inches, enter. Even if this doesn't make 100% sense to what we're doing, fill in the end. So just try to follow along as I'm going. From here, 12 inches, enter, and then up, escape, 12 inches, enter, and then up. I'm gonna right click, pan, slide this over this way, grab a hold of the pencil again, right here, 12 inches, enter, then go up, then 12 inches, enter, up. So now, it looks a little weird, but I'm going to show you how to get rid of all the rest of the stuff we don't want. It's every 12 inches, there is a mark that will indicate 12 inches on this ruler. So I'm going to go to the cursor again with the arrow, and I want to zoom in and select only the lines that are going parallel with the edge. We're going to delete those lines, those blue lines, just like this. When they turn blue, you can delete them. Zoom out, you can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 spaces. What I want to do next is I want to make those lines come all the way down to the middle, just like that. So extend those on the green edge, just like this. Then we're going to work on labeling them. I'll show you how to label them. So just bringing these down just like this to make it a full inch here. And again, if you are lost, it's completely okay because I'm going to be putting this video up on YouTube and into our classroom, so you'll have it. So now what I want to do is I want to label these so we know which is which. So we're going to start here. We're going to come up here like this. We're going to delete what that text says and just type in 1 and enter. Click off. We're going to click on this one, 2, and then click off. Do this one here. This is going to be, we already have 3 labeled, so this will be 4. We're going to do this one. This will be 5. We'll do the next one. If you want to leave, I don't know what that question is asking in the chat, but if this is not something you want to sit around and wait for and you want to get into SketchUp on your own and leave this Zoom meeting, you can definitely do that. Okay, here is 8, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we won't be doing 12, but we'll do 10 and 11. 10. And then you just click off of this once you have it typed in. And we're going to click on that one just like that. And this will be 11. Now we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Now, here's what we're going to be doing. This is going to be something that's going to be repeated 12 times. We're only going to label it once. Now from here, just like we did our pizza at the very beginning when I showed you that on the board, we're going to find the midpoint, and we're going to go down about 3/4 of the way, not completely to the bottom. Okay, then we are going to hit escape, find the midpoint again. Then we want to be half the size of this line. If you hover over top, find your midpoint, and then move your mouse over. You see that red dot that lines up just like that? It'll lock everything in. Then I'm going to hit escape. Now I'm going to go to this midpoint here. I'm going to go down till the lines line up just like that. Before I go any farther, I'm going to label this. What's that? 1 divided by 2. If I'm going too fast, it's completely okay. I will make it so that you'll be able to see it. I don't like the way that looked. Control Z. This is 1/2 inch. 1 divided by 2. Enter. Click off. And we're going to come here. 1 divided by 4. Enter. 3 divided by 4. Enter. Okay, let's see make sure there's nothing big in the chats. So then we're going to come here. We're going to bring this down like this, find the middle, bring it over just like that, hit escape, here, find the middle, here. Make so that all of these, each dimension should be the exact same length as the others that are corresponding with it. We're supposed to do this in Sketch, yes. So if you missed the very beginning, I am creating a video right now that is going to walk you through how to create a ruler step by step, and you're going to do all 12 inches, but you only have to label, you're only going to be labeling from 0 to 1. So once you find that midpoint, come down. Notice I'm starting from left to right, and I'm making sure that all of my lines are aligning with each other and they're equally spaced out. So perfect this is spaced, this is how I want yours to be. We're going to do the eighths first. The first one. Try to make it so I can see it better. One divided by 8. 1 divided by 8. Click off. Click on the next one. 3 divided by 8. On the next one. 5 divided by 8. 5 divided by 8. Click on the next one. 7 divided by 8. 7 divided by 8. Okay, then we have 16ths. We're going to start on this first one. 1 divided by 16. Click off. Click on the next one. We're going to do 3 divided by 16. Click off. On the next one. 5 divided by 16. 5 divided by 1/6. If you haven't noticed, the numerator, the number on the very top of your fraction, is jumping up by 2 digits each time. Escape. I'm going to click on the very end of this. Escape. There you go, that's better. So if we did 5 sixteenths before, we're jumping up by 2. This should be 7 divided by 16. Enter. Click off. I'm going to click here. Come down like this. If that was 7/16, this is going to be 9 divided by 16. Enter. Click off. Click on the next one. This is going to be 11 divided by 16. And then 13 divided by 16. And the very last one is, oops, escape. Make sure I click on the end of it. The very last one is 15 divided by 16. 1/5 divided by 1/6. Okay. Now, if I look at that, it's all the way labeled completely for me. I don't have to label any more after that. We're going to move this over. I'm going to grab this and grab that, slide it over. I'm going to grab the pencil, find the midpoint, come down. I want this to be the same length as this first one. So I'm going to drag it over here like that till the red line lines up like that. And I want it to be on the green plane. So I'm going to hit escape. I'm going to come here, find the midpoint. And then I'm going to make it the midpoint here like that. So it's the same length. You could also do something like this to make sure it's the same length. Whoops, it moved. Do it again. Go slow. The red dots should line up and everything should snap in for you nice and neat, just like that. Hit escape. I come here, do the midpoint of this one and come back this way, just like this. Then I'm going to come here, midpoint, come down, so it should line up with this one, just like that. Hit escape. Notice that these are all spaced out perfectly, and they're all perfectly the exact same length. Then we're going to hit escape again. We're going to come do the 16ths. So half the distance of this, or you could go on that side like that. Escape. 1/16, 3/16, 5/16, 7/16, 9/16, 11/16, 13/16, 15/16. Hit escape. Okay, one's done. Pan. Move it over just like this. I'm going to go to pencil again. The reason, Riley, we're only making one ruler, Riley. The reason we have to make so many inches, we're going to do it 12 times, is because the more you guys do this, the better you'll be able to understand, you'll be able to know how to read a tape measure really well if you can master this. If it's super easy, then do it. Need him this way. Good question. Why do I have to make so many rulers? You're actually making one ruler, but you're making it 12 times. You're making a 1-inch segment 12 times. You're making only one ruler, but you're dividing it up. You're dividing your ruler up 12 times as you would see in a regular ruler. And once you understand this concept, it will help you, help those. And if you already know it, great. This will just be repetitive nature for you then. So I'm going to find the middle of this, bring it over so it's exactly halfway. I'm going to find the midpoint and find the midpoint here. Escape. You know how to do this. You don't have to hang around. I'm just doing this as a demonstration for those that need it. And for those that need it after the class is over, you'll know exactly how to do it, sharing it straight through. Let's see what we have for chat in the chat window. Yep, you can leave. And remember, you're using that midpoint. We are using the midpoint to create it. If it doesn't turn out exactly perfect, you're going to redo it. The first house that we created, it didn't bother me too much if the measurements weren't exact. This has to be 100% exact like mine. If you don't have it 100% exact, you will be redoing it. Midpoint. Find the midpoint here, bring it over just like that. Then I'll snap my distance in for all of these. Escape. Midpoint, down, escape. Midpoint, down, escape. Midpoint, down, escape. Midpoint, down, escape. Midpoint, down. That's 15/16, should be. So far we're looking exactly the same. Zoom in here, find the midpoint, come down to where the half inch is, just like this. Try to snap her in, just like that. We're going to come here and then snap that one in with this one, or with the midpoint over here. Quarter inch, 3/4, then 1/8 of an inch, then 3/8 of an inch, then 5/8 of an inch, then 7/8 of an inch, 16th, 1/16, 2/16, 3/16. This should be 5/16. This should be 7/16. This should be 9/16. This one's 11/16. Then we have 13/16, and then 15/16. Okay. So if everything's looking good, pan. I'm going to go through this one, find the middle, come down, make sure that I'm snapping in with this one. So it's the exact same length. Okay. And then this one needs to be half the distance of this. I'll send a message to everybody. Whoops, Control Z. I'll send a message to our entire class when it's about time for the review. I'm just going to quick whip through this and then get the video created and get it up on our website so that you can see the new version of it without having a baby for a distraction like it is on the other videos. So how are we doing? Right now we're halfway done. Okay, we're going to move this over, pan, scoot it over like this, then grab my pencil again. Here, want to be the same distance. Find that midpoint, bring it over, snap it in. Halfway, 1/8 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch, 5/8 of an inch. And I would recommend, as you guys are drawing this out, feel free to talk to yourselves as you're doing it so that you can get used to which ones you're drawing. And as you do that, as you talk yourself through it, you won't sound crazy. You'll sound like you're practicing measurement, and you will learn how to do measurement a lot better. This is a new assignment that I created this last spring that I really like a lot. Some of you might not like it so much, but it's uncomplicated. You just have to repeat yourself 12 times. Find the midpoint, come back like this. Okay, find the midpoint, come down like this, come here, find our midpoint. We are at 1/8, then we are at 3/8, then 5/8. And each time, I'm not saying it out loud, but every time I draw, I hit escape to get it so that it unsnaps itself from the drawing. So I'm not making pencil lines all over the place. So after I click once and click twice, click once, click twice, I'm hitting escape every time once the line is drawn, because it drops it lifts, it basically essentially be equivalent to lifting the pencil off the paper by hitting escape. If you don't, the pencil stays on the paper, and wherever you move your mouse, that is going to stay on there. Whoops, it's going to mess people up. Pan, move it over just like this. 4 more inches to go, and then this video will be done. I'm going to come here, follow it this way. Hopefully it's the same. Looks like I'm going to redo that, make sure it is. And I just did Control Z to go back, just to make sure I have it exactly the exact same length, because that's very, very important. Midpoint, find the midpoint there, bring it this way, escape, midpoint here, escape, here to the midpoint here, that, and escape. Snap it in. 3/8, 5/8, 7/8, 16th. Zoom in a little bit. Not sure how many people are left with me yet. It's okay if everybody's left. I don't know if that's true or not, but we'll see. Once I get done, I have 3 more inches to go. Should not take an entirely long time to do. I don't know how long this video is going to be total. Kind of talking through it as I go, but try not to waste time explaining a lot of things, just kind of going through and doing it straightforward. I typically won't do videos like this, but this is something I've done over and over again, and there's not a lot of explanation. You just follow and repeat. Escape. One-eighth, 3/8, 5/8, 7/8, 16th. Five sixteenths, 7/16, 9/16, 11/16. What's Control Z? 11/16. Escape. 15/16, 15/16. Look how evenly spaced that is and how exactly perfect they are. That's how yours needs to be. If yours doesn't look like that, you're redoing it. Okay, same length as that. Bring it this way. Lock it in. Escape. Halfway. Get our 1/4 inch. 1/4. Same distance or same height. Or do the midpoint there and bring it back. Then we're going to go with escape 3/4 right here. Same length as 1/4. Midpoint, bring it back right there. Escape 1/8. Bring it here like this. Escape 3/8. This is going to be 5/8. This one will be 7/8. 1/16. 3/16. 5/16. 7/16. Oops. 9/16. 11/16. 13/16. 15/16. You got one more to go. You got one more inch to go, and then I'll stop recording this. So first I need to make it so that, move this out of the way. Escape. My midpoint right here like this. Escape. We have our 4ths done. We're going to do 1/8 now. Make sure you allow the computer to snap in midpoint. Like I almost missed it right there, so I had to escape and do Control Z to bring it back. Make sure that blue dot is on every time you that pencil mark down. Okay, almost done. And make sure that all of these lines are neat and clean and the exact same length, that all your 16ths are the exact same length. If I were to draw a line straight like this, it should hit every single 16th on there. Same thing with the 1/8. So I'm going to zoom out. I just have a little bit left to finish. Hit escape. So we're at 7/16, 9/16, 11/16, 13/16, and 15/16. Hit escape. Zoom out. So now my ruler is 100% done. When you do a screenshot of it, I'm going to want a couple things. I'm going to want a ruler, a screenshot of the entire ruler like this. You can see the whole thing. I'm going to write this on the document. I'll edit this document. 3 screenshots. One of it zoomed out, just like this, so you can see the whole thing. We're going to do a screenshot of this section right here. A screenshot of the section that's labeled right here, just like this. And finally, just a screenshot of it zoomed in so you can see how it's spaced out more evenly as it's been zoomed in. So 3 screenshots, one of the whole ruler, one of the labeled section, and then one of the non-labeled section in the middle of the ruler. That's how you make a ruler, and it should look exactly like this when it's done. Okay? And it kind of does, except that it's upside down like that, but it's still the same thing. We have a groove down the middle like that, and then it's laid out. You can see how it's laid out, that these are all different lines. The lines are different lengths, and each different length is going to represent a different fraction. That's why it's all labeled out that way. Well, there you go. I'm going to stop sharing this. We'll edit so that it's only the drawing portion of it.